So we have worked with dozens of practitioners who have been putting on education events just like this all around the country through our Practice Accelerator. But one doctor in particular in our accelerator has shined the brightest, not only putting on regular successful events to grow her practice, but also sharing the exact formula of how she combines Eventbrite, Facebook and Facebook ads with an in-practice experience to be able to create something that's really effective at bringing in consistent business into her functional medicine practice. Her name is Dr. Sara DeFrancesco, and we recorded this interview with her about how she's built that system. So Sara, first and foremost, thanks for being here on the Functional Forum, and thank you for your leadership, not just in being a meetup host in Portland, but also being such a great leader inside the Practice Accelerator. Let's start at the beginning. Why did you join in 2016?
So in 2016, I was running my practice and was doing well, but I just didn't know how to get to the next level. And I sort of, was haphazardly attracting patients and not really having a system to onboard them and educate them, not really having a system to make sure that they were the right type of patient. And because through the Functional Forum, EvoMed had already added so much value to my life. I had learned amazing clinical pearls from all the doctors that they featured. I had learned business tips from visionaries. And so I was already resonating with them. I was already eager for anything they had to share. So then when the Practice Accelerator was available, this was a shut up and take my money moment, right? Because I was already resonating. And this is the same type of thing that you need to create for your patients, is you need to be sharing your absolute best stuff. Don't worry about holding anything back, because they need to learn what you're about and how you say it, and they need to find out if you're right for them. And then that gives them the opportunity to contact you and find out, and you can find out if they're right for you. So also through the Practice Accelerator, I met some of my dearest friends. I mean, people who I talk to them almost every day. We help each other with cases. We've helped each other with building our businesses. We're always there to cheer each other on. And especially when you have a micro practice, if you're starting out on your own and you don't have a team, sometimes that can be a little lonely. So make sure that you are connecting with your peers. And, your peers are not your competitors. They are your brothers and sisters. They are your family. And it doesn't matter if you're a naturopathic doctor or an MD who's learning functional medicine. We're all on this mission together. So we truly are here to, do the thing where a rising tide lifts all boats. The truth is, people don't know that this is an option. That's why they're not well. That's why they're sick. Nobody is choosing to be sick because they know there's a better option, but they just don't care about it. People genuinely don't know that this option is available. And everyone who is out there writing articles, doing workshops, helping people, we're all just one spark in this mycelial network of spreading this message and lighting people up and having others come onto our mission.
So one of the most valuable assets that is in the Practice Accelerator is the 1 hour training that you did, where you literally showed your marketing system from Facebook to Eventbrite, to the marketing, to the copy, to the images that you use. What do you want to tell everyone at home about marketing and building a community around your practice?
Question. The beauty of today's online world is marketing is all about education, inspiration, and calls to action. That's all it is. No high pressure sales, no salesy stuff. I know this is a big thing for practitioners to get over, but look, you have to put yourself out there, because the truth is you have an answer for people who are suffering and will suffer for decades and die early, quite honestly, if you don't help them. So you have to get over, I don't want to market, it seems weird. You need to get yourself out there because you have an answer people need. And the truth is they don't know that they have another option. That's the whole problem. is the number one thing that holds people back from transformation is they don't know that there's a better way to live. They don't know that there's another answer for the condition that they're dealing with or the pain that they're in. And it's your job to make sure that they know. So this is where the education, inspiration, and calls to action come in. So the education is sharing what you already know. And it doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to, write a white paper about it. You certainly can share research if your audience responds to that. And I like to have a mix of that. So I like to have some mix of, here's the mechanism and how it works so people can actually picture, for example, how the inflammation in their gut affects their brain through the vagus nerve. And that really is eye-opening for people because these mechanisms, people experience them, they just don't have a name for it. And so when you name it and you show them, you educate them about it, they have these big aha moments. And then they're like, oh, wow. What if diet and lifestyle really could help my anxiety or whatever condition you're speaking to them about? And then the other part is people just want to know what you do. They want to start simply. So you might look at some of these things like, oh, whatever, everybody writes about like being gluten-free and meditation and exercise. But honestly, a lot of what you share should be that kind of stuff, like what you're doing that morning, what you're having for breakfast, and kind of mix this up between the more clinical aspects and also the kind of behind the scenes of what you're doing, because they want to resonate with you. They want to learn your information, but they also want to go like, oh, I'm really inspired to do that, or wow, that's the tea that doctor drinks. I think I'm going to try that. So that's really important too. When you give them these little actions, now they can take a step all on their own. And you can help thousands of people that never even have to step into your office, and they can get that benefit. And then what happens there is now you're sort of planting the seed. And the seed, I like to think of it actually more as like a mycelial network, like mushrooms. So it's like you plant the seed, let's take that person as an example who takes action on something simple you recommended. And then they're saying, to their friends online, like, hey, go check out this doctor. I really liked this tip. It helped me. And so they're helping to spread the message. And our audience and our patients really want to spread this message. So we just have to be really authentic about our mission. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a moment. But that's really where to start. So education, inspiration, getting them pumped up about the mission, getting them pumped up about a better healthcare, about new opportunities to heal, and then calls to action. So you need to serve and serve and serve, and then throw in calls to action. This is how to come to a workshop with me. This is how to get on the phone with me or my staff and find out if we're a good fit to work together. And it's just very authentic. It's very natural. It's very conversational. And a lot of these social media platforms are really excellent for that.
So the most innovative part of the system is the workshops themselves. So tell us a little bit about how you run those workshops.
So there's a lot of different ways to connect with your community, and don't do the bright shiny object thing here and try to do it all at once, because it just doesn't work that way. You just have to pick something and start from there, and then you'll add other things onto that as you build that one thing. So in my practice, what really helped was focusing on connecting with people in my community. And I did that through workshops. So in the beginning, what you want to focus on is networking and connecting with other businesses. So going to other businesses, leading with value first. So going into, say, a meal service or a gym or a complementary practitioner, learning about their services, learning how you can refer to them to benefit your patient, because we're all about team care. We're not going to do things alone. I know you got a lot of tools in your toolbox, but just settle down. You can't do everything, okay? And you don't want to. You want your patients to see you not just as an expert, but as a resource and a leader in your community. So you need to be that leader. So start there, lead with value first, start referring to others first, start learning about those things first. Now, the next thing is doing the workshops. So the workshops are wonderful because this is a place where you can help a lot of people in a short period of time. So, my goal was always to get about 30 or 40 people in a room at a time and be able to present to them, basically on a specific subject. And we'll talk more about how to choose that subject in a moment. And going through, what are sort of like the overlooked causes of this issue that are not being addressed through their doctor or through their nutrition and lifestyle. and partially educating them about lifestyle and nutrition things they could take away from that workshop and put into practice immediately, and also partially helping them with that mindset shift from dealing with the symptom or dealing with the disease to creating health. So this is how you are going to educate and indoctrinate. Like, you actually have to help people eliminate the bad programming that they have, because people have this programming that a drug is going to fix things or a supplement is going to fix things, and there's billions of dollars spent on that every year, and you're combating that. So you have to have a way that you're going to connect with them, you're going to entertain them, you're going to educate and inspire them, and if it's right for them, your call to action at the end of that workshop is going to be for them to book a call with you and to find out if they're a right fit. So workshops are absolutely key, and don't skip over them. They are some work. I mean, I spent 2 years in my practice doing a workshop once or twice a month, and I would do this January through June, take July off and August off because people are traveling. And I found that just wasn't a good time to do workshops, and you need to take some time for yourself too. And then I would have workshops again September through November. So 1 to 2 a month, just depending on what your schedule allows, but put those on your schedule, work your life around it, because it makes a huge difference in your practice. Now, it's not just the marketing, okay? It's also that this is your chance to connect with people, and you can see live how they react to your ideas, what they're confused about, what questions do they have, what lights them up, what puts them to sleep. You need to know all that, and you really can't get that just, especially when you're starting out on social media, just kind of like throwing things out there into the black abyss of the internet. So getting this live feedback and getting to connect with so many people, we brought on a lot of new patients that way, and also helped people in our community who would come up to me after the workshop and say they just felt it was life-changing and they felt so inspired, and it wasn't, they didn't need me, they needed the information. So here's another thing is that there's 3 kinds of people. There's the type of person who they just need your information, and then they're just gonna run with it and thrive, and that's awesome. We love that. I love it when it's that easy. Then the second type of person, they actually are in overwhelm themselves. So they're reading all the books, they're reading all the blogs, they're doing Dr. Google. They don't need another article, they don't need another workshop. They actually need mentorship and accountability for their transformation. And so you need to kind of call them out on that, and let them know that it's beyond education. And when you're sharing your best, they will see that. And then the third type of person is a person who is taking all the action. They're like, hey, I tried your recipe, I tried this, and I felt better, but I still feel stuck. I think there's something else going on with me. So those people who have a root cause issue that needs to be dealt with, and those people who need that mentorship and accountability, you need to step in and be the leader for them. Those are your patients. And everybody else who just wants your information and they're going to benefit, bless them. Thank goodness, because I wish it was that easy, right, for everybody. So we have to appreciate them and know that sometimes those people are our best messengers, because they're just so thrilled to have found you and your information. So don't get caught up in like everybody needs to be a patient or everyone needs functional medicine. We might see it that way, but really at the end of the day, what people want is they want to live a life free of limitations of their symptoms, and you just need to be good at telling them how they can do that. And don't go down the rabbit hole on the medicine. Yes, teach them the medicine. Yes, teach them these mechanisms of action because it helps them understand. But really, you need to be a leader. You need to show them that not only do you have the knowledge, but you have the leadership skills to mentor them through this transformation and get them the result that they want.
Now, obviously, the workshop is just the first step. What about taking people from the workshop and turning them into new patients? What's your process there?
So the key to hosting transformational workshops, and I mean transformational for the attendees and transformational for you and your practice, is you have to pick a topic you're confident in. You need to practice. So the first time you do the talk, it might be terrible, and that's totally okay. You just have to get out there and do it again and again. Learning this process of being a public speaker is such a skill, and really you just want to talk to them the same way that you're going to talk to your patients in the office, you know? So just build rapport with your audience. Now, to get people actually there, you need to pick a great title. So pick something enticing. Then you need to tell them what they're going to learn there. So, you know, pick 3 or 5 bullet points and let them know it's going to be actionable. So at my workshops, I'd like to actually do some exercises. So I would do exercises like singing or squats, you know, to activate their vagus nerve or to get their blood circulating, and talk to them about how that affects their brain and their mental health, and, you know, kind of break things up for people. So a workshop should be about an hour, hour and a half maximum with Q&A, because you're gonna burn people out if you go too long. And, you know, give them a good reason to be there. Give them value. Don't get up there and be all like, this is why you should work with me. Give them a lot of value first. Show them how much you care. Show them how much expertise you have. Give them actionable tips so that they can leave with something to work on. And in fact, in my workshops, I like to give them a survey, and I'd actually have them check a box of, hey, I'm working on my health on my own right now. Can you send me you know, your freebie or whatever you have to offer them that's educational value that they can do, like a free download? Or, hey, I'm ready to talk to the doctor. I'm ready to work one-on-one. And then we'd actually schedule those people for a free discovery call to connect with me on the phone. So what happens here is now they have all the education and everything they need to know about why they need this care, how it's different, and you want to present everything about your program or how your services work, including price, because nobody likes surprises, especially when it comes to healthcare and finances. So I just lay it all out for them. This is how it works. This is who's a good fit to work with me. This is, you know, the service we provide, etc. And then when we get on the phone, now I can just listen to them and understand their journey, what their mindset is like, what they've been through, what they've tried, and I can help them make an educated decision whether our program is the next best step for them. And if it's not, then I'm going to refer them to somebody else in my community. So this is an act of service. It's an act of education for your community. And then that discovery call is really the same thing. You're looking to see if it's a match, and if it's not a match, do not take that patient on. So if you don't think you can help them and someone is better suited to do it, refer. If you get a sense that the personality and the communication style is not a good fit on the phone, refer. You want them to be an excellent match so that you can deliver your absolute best, and you both are going to feel charged up whenever you're in the visit. You don't want to be bringing on patients just because you need to get people in the door. You need to be bringing on the right patients.
Thanks so much for sharing all this great information. If you're watching at home and you would like to get access to that video and all of the assets inside the Practice Accelerator, you can go to goevomed.com/accelerator. As of today, we are going to be opening up our spring enrollment into the Practice Accelerator, and hope you can join myself, Dr. DeFrancesco, and more than 500 other doctors around the country and around the world who are building functional medicine practices ready for this new generation of patient care.